Indies against India. West Indies one up, of course. And this time we're at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain, Trinidad. The biggest of the Caribbean grounds. Actually holds 30,000 people if it's full. Well, we have a toss won by India. They put West Indies into bat. Let's turn to Mohinder Amarnath first of all to ask him, can India do better this time, Jimmy?
I'm sure, Tony, because it's a good toss to win, and Indians have always done well at Trinidad in this place. But the only thing I'm critical about that going with three spinners in this game, because the wicket is green, I would have thought they would go with three seamers. Because Rahman is coming into the side, he could also bowl some spin. But nevertheless, I feel that they'll do much better than Barbados over here.
Let's turn to Sir Garfield Sobers. Gary, the pitch, to my eye, has got more grass on than probably any I've seen in Test cricket.
Well, Tony, really a very unusual wicket. I have never seen a wicket like that. And I've been playing in Trinidad probably since 1953, 54, when I played against England. But I think the reason for that is probably that they have the grass on because they want the wicket to last the 5 days. But whatever it is, I agree with Jimmy that it's a good toss for India to win, put the West Indies into bat, because the wicket must certainly have some kind of moisture in it with the amount of grass on it, and therefore the Indian bowlers would have the opportunity of using it up.
Well, we'll see if that's true or not. First of all, let's talk about the teams. India, in fact, have made one change from the last test in Barbados. Azharuddin has that strained groin, and he's out injured, unfortunately. Venkat Rama is the man who comes in. We're really looking forward to seeing him, tall and left-handed. Quite a big time for this man in his third test match, Venkat Raman. And the West Indies, well, look at the runs at the top. There's Gordon Greenidge, there's Haynes, and Richie Richardson. All have scored centuries in this series so far. And, of course, we have the same quartet of menacing fast bowlers. Gordon Greenidge, the batsman, and Kapil Dev opening up for India. Oh, dear. Over the top of that, I think.
Indeed, that was a very strange shot from a world-class opening batsman like Greenidge. West Indies put in by India, an involuntary shot, really. You don't really expect to see that in a 5-day match.
Chetan Sharma, lots of grass in this wicket, more grass than we've seen anywhere in the Test cricket world. And maybe this will suit the faster bowlers. Desmond Haynes, the well-known opening partner for Greenidge. Three slips, a short leg for Chetan Sharma. Oh, nicely played. Not too bad a ball, really. Quite straight, but beautifully timed. That's Rahman, the young man from Madras, on the deep square leg boundary. 8 for a wicket, West Indies. Nicely clipped away by Gordon Greenidge. Sort of paddling shot. Step forward and whipped it round, 4 runs.
We're actually looking at one of the great hookers in modern day cricket. Greenidge very fast to pivot and so quick with his reflexes.
Chetan Sharma. Another lovely shot from Greenidge. And that'll be 4-2. 2 in 2 balls. Very quickly onto the front foot. And so far difficult to see if it is a difficult pitch to play on, because these two batsmen are in very good form.
I think this is what makes Greenidge such a commanding figure. He's a good player off the front foot as well as the back. He's not just a one-stroke sort of a player.
Good firm outfield, the ball running quickly. Lovely fine weather at Port of Spain. Oops, Kapil Dev. Well, I know he's played for many years, but rather special loosening up exercises.
It's just a slight hold-up, I believe, Tony. People moving behind the bowler's arm in the pavilion here at Port of Spain, which is directly behind the stumps as we look down them.
Greenidge, the batsman. And that's the first ball that's really nipped up. It jumped a little bit. And on these grassy wickets, you expect the ball to move off the seam after the ball is pitched, to move fractionally. Lucky shot, but finds the gap, and that's racing away again. All Gordon Greenwich intended was a defensive prod, but again, you see, he's looking back behind the bowler's arm.
Yes, that was a useful delivery from Kapil, one of the great Indian fast bowlers of all time, over 300 test wickets. And a genuine victory for the bowler, although it cost him 4 runs. Beat him all ends up, I think, Greenwich.
24 for no wicket. This is Desmond Haynes. It'll be close, but that's where they're so good, and that's the value of regular batting partners. It's a push and a nod, and off they go.
Point well taken here, Tony. Watch Greenwich backing up. He's looking, he's running not to the danger end, so he knows that's the end which matters, and he's pulling up quite comfortably.
Good shot. Nicely clipped away. They really are strong off the leg side, these boys. I think it's one of the traditional West Indies fortes, Peter, don't you?
Oh, indeed. I think anything that isn't straight is just mincemeat for these chaps. Greenwich and Haynes are both very strong on the leg side. We watch Greenwich get into position quickly here, and just a turn of the wrist. That's all timing, not so much power, and the ball racing away 75 yards to the boundary.
Desmond Haynes. Chetan Sharma bowling. Just a suggestion of movement there.
And a bit of bounce too, I think, beating Haynes here, hitting him above the pads, just on the lower part of the thigh pad.
Kapil to Gordon Greenwich. Oh, yes. They all say yes, the umpire says yes, and Greenwich is gone. So that's a great victim there for Kapil. A beautiful ball. Committed Greenwich to the forward stroke and then moved away. And very faint tickle. Outside edge of the bat and through to the keeper.
That was a magnificent ball by Kapil. It went almost like a quick leg break, really. He's out for 21, caught by Moray, the wicket-keeper. That's the first wicket to go down. 133 now for 1 after 11 overs, and a good crowd here at the Kings Park Oval for this game. This is the wicket-taker.
Oh, another good ball. Really beats Haynes outside the off stump. A lot of suspicion in the batsmen's minds, really. They saw this wicket early this morning, thick with grass, and they all came out expecting the worst. India winning the toss and putting West Indies in first. But that's a good shot, got right on top of it. Really stood up on his toes then. That's Sidhu, the retriever.
This is a good example of watching the ball. His head very still, going up with the bounce and just nudging it into the open gap on the offside. And Sidhu's chasing that, but really it's a pretty forlorn effort.
Very positive start by the West Indies. Oh. Well, that didn't bounce very much. Came back a little bit off the seam.
It's a strange wicket, this. It looked very rough when we went and had a look at it before the start of play, Tony. Some have bounced, some have kept a bit low, and that's what did Haynes that time. First look at spin.
Arshad Ayub is the off-spinner and Richie Richardson the batsman. Well, that turned a mile. Well, 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 we've had an hour and 20 minutes of fast bowling and now turned to spin. And who would have thought the ball would have spun quite so much on the first day of a test match?
Now this will really interest Ayub and Hirwani, the leg spinner, who we haven't seen yet. Anything that turns like that on the first day must give them a lot of heart.
Ayub to Richardson. Well played. It was turning onto the stumps, but he plays that square cut so well. And he's a man bang in form, Richardson. really seems to fancy this Indian attack. He's taking lots of runs off them.
Including a career best 194 at Georgetown in the first test. Very much an improved player, Richie Richardson. Used to have a suspect technique, but now he's very solid.
50 comes up, 51 off 98 balls, so a good tempo. Still the close fielders, 4 of them around Richardson. Oops. Well, I think he had it under control, but very often you see the ball lodge in a pad or run down and trickle towards the stumps.
Although he's the frontline off spinner, I'm surprised he's not bowling round the wicket with the ball turning that much. You'll never get him LBW from there.
Those close fielders are very close. Ravi Shastri, the bowler. Good clip. Lovely shot, in position. A very short ball, and we've seen now that there's very little pace in this pitch. So if you do drop short, the ball actually stands up and asks to be hit.
Shastri very wide of the crease, and Haynes, who is a very fine player off the back foot, making no mistake with that.
Shastri to Richardson. Off come the bails, off comes the hat, but there's no stumping there. Richardson held his back foot firmly inside the crease.
This too turned. You don't beat a good player like Richardson without the ball deviating off the pitch. Moray very quick to get the ball back to the stumps.
Ayub, the off spinner. Another shot he plays so well. Again, he's slashing cut outside off stump. Just beats Slip's right hand, I suppose, but it was going very quickly. Quick enough to beat Chetan Sharma for 4 runs.
Well, that shot was a bit close to him to cut. That's why it was in the air, and it almost went to Vensarkar at first slip. Lucky to get away with that. Real hard wicket shot.
With such a good eye, Richardson. 1 for 65. Ravi Shastri, 26-year-old, but wide experience, 63 matches in Test cricket. That's a good clubbing shot to square leg.
Well, that's a good spot to watch the game from. Although that tin roof must get pretty hot under the noonday sun here in Trinidad.
Ayub again, and away it goes square again. Very safe shots, actually. The ball is turning predictably, and the sweep shot is with the spin. 74 for the loss of 1 wicket. It's Shastri to Haynes. Good shot. Oh, wonderful save. That's a lovely stop by Chetan Sharma. Full length, not much of him, but it's all he had.
A good example of the athleticism of the modern cricketer, I think, Tony, over the people who might have played in our day. That could have easily been 4 runs. Not particularly well struck by Haynes, but look at Chetan. He actually gave that everything from the moment he set off after it.
Richie Richardson faces Ayub. It's in the air, that one. And Hirwani's under it, and he's out. Well, it wasn't a good shot, really, but Hirwani well positioned, a deep backward square leg. And he's caught the bowling of Ayub. Richardson goes for 15.
Switching ends here to the pavilion end at Queen's Park Oval, and that shot, I suppose, was on. It pitched just outside the off stump, but actually he couldn't have hit it straighter at the fielder than that particular ball. So that's the 2nd wicket down, and India must be rather relieved. They've got 2 out for 80 at lunchtime, with Haynes on 39, and Arthurton just come out to bat.
Just seems to me that rather too many runs conceded. India need to be a bit tighter in this afternoon session. Ayub is the bowler. Haynes. Very quick single. But India insist on surrounding the batsman with 4 close fielders, and if you push through it, there are runs. Hirwani the bowler now. Pad first. A sort of appeal from India. Pressure on Keith Arthurton, the young left-hander. Full toss, and he'll be very relieved to get away with that. Nice stroke, well timed. But he's trying to establish himself in the West Indies Test side. And the local favourite, Brian Lara, is 12th man. Difficult to come down and make runs on your chief opponent's patch, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the sort of bread and butter 4 runs to a left-hander. Anything on the leg stump, they're traditionally very strong there. And Atherton absolutely bisecting the field, which is the difference between a first-class international player and an ordinary club player. Probably would have hit that straight at a fielder. 95 for 2, 34 overs gone.
Ayub still bowling. Yes, another one for Haynes. And 50 for Haynes. Very fine half-century. Very good judge of the single, as we saw there. And he's also played some splendid shots for 4. Irwani to Atherton. Oh, my word, that hurt. How many times in this trip have we seen close fielders maimed by very strong blows from the batsman? They run overthrows there, in fact. Looks a dangerous game there, helmeted in close. So the 100 comes up of 227 balls. Still Desmond Haynes, going well. Hirwani swung away. It's high, but it's safe. Almost seems to pick the place there, the position square on the leg side. And it's 4 runs to Desmond Haynes.
Well, I hope his short square leg has got good life insurance. Because if you get hit by that at 90 miles an hour, you tend to stay hit for a long time. And the short square leg has spent most of his morning on the deck. There he is again in the helmet.
They all appeal. They're all very certain about that. I must say the Indians are rather petulant about their appealing, chasing after umpires.
That's a terribly difficult one for the umpire, in all fairness, to decide whether that did hit the edge of the bat as well as the pad. And in those circumstances, you must give the decision in favour of the batsman.
Oh, that's another very short ball, a bad ball, easy to pull on this slow pitch. And as Peter's been saying, fielding at short square leg. Helmet or no helmet, then it's a danger position. I really think he should be brought back out of there into safety, but still.
They say anyone who feels short square leg has got to have an IQ of 40, which puts him about level with a horse. It's a pretty dangerous spot to be, particularly with wayward bowling like that.
109 now for 2. Ravi Shastri to Desmond Haynes. And that's struck again, full blow by Haynes. That goes first bounce into the crowd. And back again, it's Rahman down there. The man in his 3rd test match. Must be fearful of getting a top edge and a catch down there. There comes Shastri. Oh, that might well be it. And he catches it. Great catch. What a great catch. Well, it's a temptation for a young man to shirk on those, but he ran in, took it on, got under it, and caught it. He seems to have hurt his ankle, but Desmond Haynes is gone. He's been caught by Rahman for 64.
Watch the short leg get out the way here again. Off he goes. And Rahman, who's basically a left-hander, he's a left-handed batsman. If he'd been a right-hander, I think he might have struggled on this catch, because he made a lot of ground to his left, his good side. Here he comes, and he had to dive to his left. Had he been a right-hander, I wouldn't have fancied him catching that one. But a great catch.
118 for 3. Very good tempo, 44 overs. And here comes Vivian Richards. And just look at that test record. Average of over 50. 52, so very rare. Ravi Shastri is the bowler. Oh, wonderful shot. So easy. A little bit of footwork to get to the pitch of the ball, meet the ball on the perfect half volley, and the power comes from the timing, as well as those very wide shoulders.
I'm sure he'll be relieved to middle one like that. He's had a pretty poor season with the bat, Viv. When he's gone in, he's made 10 or 12, and For a world-class player like that, it must start to worry him that he hasn't been able to dominate an Indian attack, which is pretty ordinary, I think, by international standards.
Well, they shout for that. But Richards stares the umpire out.
That was nearly unplayable. That turned and bounced. Could easily have got a glove to that.
Might just have flicked his shirt. Ayub to Atherton. A diving catch by Kapil at second slip, and is he out? You can never tell from the reactions of the Indians, who think that everything's out. Very difficult job umpiring.
Watch how late Kapil goes. The ball's almost 3/4 of the way to him before he moves, and he makes, in the end, a very good catch. Off the pad, though.
Shastri to Richards. Oh, beautiful shot, really. It turned, never quite reached him. Well, in the end, it was quite a race not to be run out.
Great big wide shoulders, Richards, and tremendous bat speed, and if that hadn't turned so much, he'd have hit it a lot harder. Because he was coasting, he almost didn't quite make his ground. Direct hit on the stumps.
Shastri to Richards again. Short again, and he middles that one. That really is a beautiful shot. Most of the fielders on the offside, and Richards decides, therefore, to slip it between mid-on and mid-wicket for 4. Good shot by Atherton. Very neat little player, and plenty of power in his strokes. So the score mounting 137 for 3 on a wicket that's really very helpful to the bowlers. So that's another lovely shot. Beautiful. See the face of the bat opening, the timing's perfect. Head over the ball. Advice from Viv Richards, the captain, or congratulations?
You couldn't wish to see a more classical off-drive than that. Absolutely still head and the face of the bat square to the ball. That's why it went away so fast. Beautiful strike.
Ayub to Richards. Good clipped shot by Richards. 4 runs to him. So maybe the great man is on his way with a decent innings this time.
It's very ominous for India that he's starting to hit the ball so well on the leg side. That's where he's so strong. And he'll be looking for a very big score here today, I think, despite the fact that the wicket's turning a lot.
Oh, but he's gone. But Richards has, you can't believe it. He's standing there. Well, 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 one bail gone. He tried to cut a ball that was terribly close to the off stump. Got very cramped in there. And you can just hear the sensation around the ground. And congratulations to Ayub.
One thing you never do to an off-spinner on a turning wicket is try and cut him, and that's exactly what Viv Richards, despite his 100-odd test matches, has done. Paid a penalty, he's out for 19, another low score by the West Indian captain, and he must be worried by his form. Just let's have another look. That's much too close for the shot he attempted to play, and when it turned, there was no alternative but to get inside his bat, and 146 for 4 in the 57th over.
Augustine Logie is the local boy from Port of Spain. Trinidad player, very useful cricketer he's become, faces Shastri now. Oh, lovely shot. Actually, it was wide. It cried out to be hit through the offside, but he tugged it back over the top. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Gus is about 5'4", did well to clear 6'4" Ravi there. He made a lot of ground upwards. But the power of that ball, look at that, 3 bounces into the ropes, 75 yards away.
Hirwani to Atherton. That's a good shot. A lot of bottom hand went into that, as you say. The steering hand. but also he got down the pitch, the courage to use the feet, off to the pitch of the ball.
Not quite probably what he'd hoped for. I think he was looking to hit that a bit straighter. In the end, the fact that it didn't turn sent it away through the gap, but still it's 4 runs, they all count.
That's high, and that's safe. Over mid-off. It's a very confident display by West Indies. I have to keep repeating that the pitch is turning, the sort of pitch you wouldn't mind bowling on at all, especially with 3 spinners in the side. So West Indies will be very pleased indeed to be forging ahead so well. Short arm jab. The ball was short, and Logie's a very neat mover around the crease. No backlift at all. Little jab through mid-wicket for 4. 175 for 4. It's gone fine, swept it away. It'll be a long run for the man, a deep backward square. That's Hirwani. Well, that one got away. Atherton didn't know quite where it had gone to. Very fine on the leg side. And just see how quickly that ball runs away. It's an infuriating time for India now. They know they should be getting wickets out. They seem to be overcrowding the batsmen in a way.
Lucky to get away with that, although the wicketkeeper was in the wrong position for a stumping. He should have been outside the leg stump. But the outfield is so fast here that even an edge like that goes for 4.
In desperation, back to seam, Kapil Dev. And that's short, and that's swung away by Logie. Lovely shot, plays that well, the cut shot. There's no great bounce in this pitch, but Logie's a short man, Peter said, and he's down there with it, so to speak. 190 for 4 then. That's really excellent batting in these conditions. Not very good bowling. Wide, drifting wider. Amazing how Kapil Dev does manage to move that old ball, Peter.
Indeed, he's a master at swinging the ball, and watch how late that goes, in the air and then even further off the pitch, just luring the batsman, rather like a fly with a fish.
That's 1, 2, 3 bounces, and that's 4 runs as well. All these West Indies batsmen have used their feet to get down the pitch. It's very distracting for a bowler, hard for a bowler to keep his regular length. But Kapil Dev is extremely experienced. You can't use your feet to that.
Need a pair of 7-league boots to reach that one.
I wonder what the excuse will be there. It stuck, it slipped, it's 4 byes. $204 for 4. Hirwani to Logie. Appeal for LBW. I'm not sure how the umpire could adjudicate that, because he was on the move as well then. Probably moved just to see around the bowler. It's up in the air, and that looks out, and Atherton's gone. A very nasty ball, and Atherton halfway forwards. I wonder what that hit. Maybe the shoulder of the bat, because it went rather quickly to silly point. What sort of a catch was that, Peter?
That was an outstanding catch by the substitute fielder, Robin Singh. Jeff Dujon just coming out as Atherton goes back in the pavilion. It really was an outstanding effort, because Singh isn't a very tall man. It flew fast and high. He caught it one-handed. That's an interesting statistic of Jeff Dujon, who's principally in as a batsman. 139 is his highest test score. Averaging 37, that puts him in the top rank as a player. So, really, I think that West Indies are going to have some problems here now, with the ball really starting to turn.
Fine shot by Logie, and Logie reaches his 50, and his home crowd give him a splendid reception. No great stylist, but a very effective, good team player. Oh, again, no backlift, and therefore no signal to that man at short square leg that that sort of shot is coming. Tremendous lash and power for a small arc of the bat. Ayub. And again, he's whacked it. Lovely mixture of defense and attack from Gaslogi. And India quite demoralized now. Not so the home spectators. Oh, that probably was a catch. It pitched and turned and lifted, maybe grazed the glove, and Kieran Moray, the keeper, probably dropped that. 229 for 5. Geoffrey Dujon, lovely stylist, super wicketkeeper, fine batsman. Very graceful shot indeed. Just one run to Geoffrey Dujon. So that's the card at the end of the first day. Very good batting by Desmond Haynes, and also by Gus Lowy, who's still there. India will be very disappointed to have removed only 5 West Indian batsmen, having won the toss, and put them into bat. 237 for 5. Second day of the Test match. West Indies 5 wickets still in hand. It'll be spin again to Geoffrey Dujon. First over of the day. It's swept, but it's high. And young Rahman's moving under that, and that's quite a straightforward catch for him. Good pair of hands. And Geoffrey Dujon takes remarkable liberty and gets out first over of the day.
It was a very rash shot so early in an innings, and the pitch of the ball was so short it wasn't far up enough to sweep. That's why it went so high in the air. He got a top edge on that, and a very neat catch by Rahman. It looks like a useful fielder in the making. Now here's a familiar face, Malcolm Marshall.
6 wicket down, 238. And that's a typical Logie shot. It's tucked in right behind it in the quick, wristy stroke off the back foot. 3 runs to Gus Logie. Absolutely vital for India that they prize out these last batsmen. Getting a little bit out of hand there, and they know that Malcolm Marshall is a dangerous striker of the ball. Can defend, but he loves to hit. Arshad Ayub to Marshall. Nicely controlled stroke. Ravi Shastri. That's a very good shot by Marshall. Good bit of fielding by Arun Lal. And the 250 comes up for West Indies. Ayub to Marshall. Oh, that's a tremendous blow. It's very high. Shastri's under it. Oops, it's a daisy. Well, Ravi Shastri would know that's a 6, but not until he hit the fence. Very difficult indeed to focus on a ball and backpedal, not knowing where the boundary is.
That was exactly the right place to hit this shot from, outside the off stump. Plenty of leverage there. He knew it was 6 as he middled it. Shastri, not knowing where the line is, if he crosses the line it's 6. Keeping his eye on the ball as he should do, but it was purely academic.
Shastri the bowler. Oh, Marshall, lovely shot. Very good stop that by Manjrekar. Really, these spinners should have a more defensive arrangement of the field. They've tried to attack with these close fielders, see the man in there at silly point. But all that's going to happen is that someone will get hurt. And of course, you put them in there and you're short of fielders in the outbacks. That's another big blow. Oh, and that really must have hurt Robin Singh. It's on the hip bone.
Yeah, that was inevitable, I'm afraid. I mean, he's been ducking and weaving like somebody playing Mike Tyson. Just have a look at this. He had no chance at all to get out the way. I mean, Marshall absolutely middled that. He's already on the way, taking evasive action. Right in the small of the back. If he was a horse, they'd probably put him down by now, I think. He's taken too much punishment, I think. The towel ought to come in. He ought to really be back saving one, not in close with a total over 250. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Just had no chance to get out the way. Doing what he can, right in the small of the back, was it, or on the hip?
Well, you put fielders in there when batsmen are prodding forward tentatively, and the bowlers are extremely accurate, and the pitch is helpful, but all those three dimensions have to be in place. Meantime, Ravi Shastri signs a few autographs for the many Indian fans who live in Trinidad. Oh, and he's out. He's stumped. Very next ball, and Marshall can't believe it. Went through his legs, in fact. That's why he can't believe it. Waits for the umpire, and the umpire says you're out. Very neat bit of stumping, because Marshall's body obscured the ball from Kieran Morey.
Indeed, this is the hardest ball of them all for a wicketkeeper to take, because he's completely blinded by the batsman's body. Morey stayed very still. Must be pretty close to the off stump as well. And Marshall is out. Stumped Morey bowled Ayub for 18. Pretty bright innings. He's nearly saw off one fielders, 269 for 7, and a 6 or 2 in that.
Curtly Ambrose, young man who likes to take his batting seriously. Faces Arshad Ayub. Just one run there. That's a very good blow indeed. That's miles over mid-off, and Curtly Ambrose really developing into something of a striker. He looks down from congratulations from Gus Logie.
That's about 2.5 feet difference in height between them. Ambrose with long arms, lots of leverage, and he didn't need an awful lot of power to hit that a long, long way. Not quite 6, but as close as makes no difference.
Gus Logie. Again, that chopping cut shot which goes just in front of the square on the offside. Shastri, the fielder. A couple more runs to Gus Logie. India must feel quite depressed about the West Indies total growing now. Well, it's bat and pad, but dropped short of the square leg fielder, short square leg.
Great credit to Robin Singh at short square leg here. He's staying forward. I mean, he's taken so much punishment there. You think he'd be on the back foot, but no, he had enough left in him to dive forward for that.
Kapil Dev. It's a shy by Arun Lal, and that might have been close. I think Gus Logie was coasting away down there. At least Arun Lal thinks it was close.
And Ambrose not backing up very fast, hence the danger end. Left Logie a bit exposed. He wasn't sure his partner was running. And it wasn't a bad throw either. 284 for 7. We're in the 113th over.
This is Kapil Dev to Curtly Ambrose.
What sort of shot do you think he was playing there, Tom?
A bit of a haymaker, but it was well down the leg side. Someone should tell him that it's impossible to hit the ball behind you, really. It sort of goes there, but you can't aim it there because it's already past you. But I don't suppose that's the discussion they're having there. They're just probably wondering where they'll have a first beer tonight.
It's amazing how fast bowlers always fancy themselves with the back. Ambrose is no exception.
That's a fine edge, and that's caught. That's caught by Kieran Morey. And India have got Ambrose's wicket. Caught by Morey, bowled Dev for 12.
A bright innings this. Dev going round the wicket, Capel, actually, to just vary the angle, and it paid off. Bit of experience coming to light there. Too wide to play, really, and Ambrose just getting the faintest of edges. But he entertained the crowd, and that's what I suppose professional cricket's all about. 294 for 8, 117 overs gone.
Ian Bishop is another homeboy, plays all his cricket here in Port of Spain and for Trinidad. Very new on the test scene. Capel's not quite so new. That's a very good shot, plays with a very straight bat. And more good fielding there by Arun Lau. 295 for 8. Many more runs than anyone imagined either of these sides would get on a wicket that's been very helpful to the spin bowlers. A shout there, an appeal, but long legs well forward and outside off stump.
Quite amazing how good a player this young man is. He's only 20, but technically he's very sound, even though he's in the team as a fast bowler.
Full toss, good shot, but it's going to be tight. And I just wonder if that throw had been straight, whether they'd have been in trouble there, those batsmen.
Good fielder, Arun Lau, and it's always taken a chance to run to somebody who's got a good arm like that. He's, what, 30-odd yards from the bat, and you're right, certainly. If he'd thrown that straight, Gus could well have been a couple of yards out.
That's a very cultured shot for a man batting low down the order. Ayub. The bail was, well, he dropped the bail at short square leg, but it was no stumping, the foot in the crease.
That must have been pretty close to bowling him. The off stump, it turned, and Morey, well, went for the stumping, but Bishop kept his right foot down. 300 for 8, 120 overs gone in the second day.
Hirwani. And that's a very faint tickle, and Gus Logie goes. Well, it's been a fine innings by Logie. 87 runs he scored. And a delight for Hirwani, who's lost a bit of self-confidence of late. Pitched the perfect leg spinner and found the edge.
And this turned appreciably. 3 backwards, and Logie, if he hadn't been in such a good position, would have missed that comprehensively. But as it is, he got right out to the pitch of the ball and paid the penalty. But a standing ovation for what's been a marvellous innings by the lad from Port of Spain. And he's really turned out to be, if you like, the new Larry Gomes of the West Indies side, always holding it together in the middle of the order.
Some fans are worth pleasing. Courtney Walsh would know that, as he loosens his neck and strides to the crease. Highest score in Test 30, average 10, but you never know your luck. 9 wickets down, 302. This is Kapil Dev. Oh, bit of luck there for Ian Bishop. Inside edge. And beats the keeper all along the ground.
Nothing's more infuriating for a bowler than this to happen. I mean, it's 4 runs against your analysis, and really you deserve to get a wicket with a shot like that. But Capel at least can afford to smile. Cheerful cricketer.
Hirwani to Walsh. Oh, that's a big blow, a huge blow. It must be 6. Up onto the cycle track. Courtney Walsh hits a wonderful 6.
They really put some muscle into this. That's a huge swing of the bat. If that was a golf club, he probably hit that 8-iron about 212 yards.
Hirwani again, same shot again, but different result this time. Chetan Sharma's under it, catches it, and that's the conclusion of the West Indies innings. Nice little leg spinner there, flighted well by Hirwani. So Courtney Walsh goes for 6. And at last, the West Indies are out.
If he'd hit that one, it would have gone just as far as the previous ball. But full marks to Hirwani, gave it some flight. And this isn't the easiest catch in the world. Spinning quite a lot, and Sharma doing exceptionally well to hang on to that.
314 all out West Indies. Remember, put into bat, I think India will be disappointed. Let's just take a look at the scorecard there with the great pillars of concentration from Haynes and Logie, and quite a few people chipping in along the way. There were 19 extras. 314, I think, is well beyond their wildest dreams, West Indies. Bowling analysis, well, success for Kapil Dev, 2 for 45, but the main strike bowler, Arshad Ayub, 5 for 117, just over 2 and over, not bad at all, but Hirwani, 2 for 59, and Shastri, 1 for 57, all adding up, I think, rather expensively to 314, and so it's quite a job now for the Indian openers. Arun Lal is the man taking strike. He scored a test century, Navjot Sidhu, but not been in great form on this trip. And fascinating to see now how big fast bowlers get on a pitch that suits spin. This is Curtly Ambrose. And that's a good shot from Arun Lal. Nicely timed off the pads. It'll probably beat them to square leg. And a happy start for India, 4 runs. They can afford the close fielders, 3 slips, a gully, silly mid-off, short square leg.
Good timing that, no strength, he just using the pace of the ball as it came towards him, just rolling the wrists on it and away it goes. That was a good shot by Arun Lal, very gutsy player. Nobody having a chance of catching that.
Curtly Ambrose, 15 matches, 58 wickets. 26 is a good average for a beginner starting off in Test cricket. And even less experienced, Ian Bishop, just 2 matches, 7 wickets, but an average of 20 per wicket. And his arrival on the Test match scene, rather ominous for international batsmen. Bowling now to Sidhu. And beats him. Sidhu nowhere near behind that. And the idea to get behind the ball, but it must have been a foot inside it.
Fair point there, Tony. His right foot, just look where it is. It's in line with about middle and leg stump, and that ball is 2 feet outside the off stump. No wonder he never got anywhere near it.
But that's a good shot by Sidhu off Ambrose. Long half volley, driven square on the offside. 4 runs.
He certainly accepts the challenge, Sidhu. Anything up to him, he's obviously going to give it a belt. Again, nowhere behind the ball, but it didn't matter at all because he hit it smack in the middle of the bat. Now, that really is the only way you can take on these West Indian fast bowlers. If they pitch it into your half, you've got to take the battle back to them.
Ian Bishop to Sidhu. Again, he beats him just outside the off stump. That's a perfect line. Whether to play, whether to leave it.
Again, he's got it a little bit closer to this one, but not much. And he moved after the ball had passed him.
18 for no wicket after 7 overs. And that's just going down the leg side, but he is the fastest of these bowlers without doubt, Ian Bishop. Puts a lot into it at the last moment, and it made Sidhu really hurry then and get there too late. Right, Courtney Walsh is the man replacing Ambrose. Good shot by Sidhu. But that'll be tight. Really tight. Now, when you hit the ball to a tall, gangling fast bowler, you expect him to rather trip over his bootlaces. But that was a most athletic pick-up and throw by Curtly Ambrose at cover.
I think Aaron Lowell also thought his chances of picking it up were slim, but he had a kind bounce there, just dropped into his hands, and had that hit the stumps, Aaron Lowell would definitely have been out.
And the next change, Malcolm Marshall, the man who broke the test record for the West Indies in the Barbados test, reached 310 test wickets. Aaron Lowell is playing a fighting innings. Nicely angled bat. Nothing spectacular, but Aaron Lowell behind the ball, on top of it, and just slanting the ball away there for 4 runs, no third man fielding. Good gutsy performance by Aaron Lowell.
Indeed, he really didn't fancy that too much, but at least he got behind the ball, which you can't ask more. He's a short man, and he's going to find the bounce on this pitch very difficult to overcome. That's Phil Simmons, who's fielding as a substitute at the moment.
Marshall again. That's a nick. Just beats Stu John, the keeper, probably outside the arc of his reach, and, well, did it reach Vivian Richards?
I don't think it did, Tony, but Vivian Richards did amazingly well to actually pick this up cleanly with a diving form of Dujon in front of him, and the half volley. That really was a fine stop by Richards. 27, we're in the 14th over.
And this is Courtney Walsh. Again, nicely steered, nothing spectacular, but correct by Aaron Lowell. And Viv Richards always keeps his feelers up around the bat, looking for catches rather than saving fours. And why not, with the first innings of 314 on the board.
Aaron right behind this again, just opening the face and getting a reward because all the fielders are up for the catch. Nobody's thinking at this stage of saving runs. No third man.
Marshall to Sidhu. Oh, that beats him. Just moves away. Well, this man Marshall, he really has tormented so many batsmen.
I don't think Sidhu fancies it too much. Heads over the ball, but his feet are nowhere near in line.
Marshall again. Oops, it's all over. It is all over. A little war dance by Marshall, and Sidhu finds the ball coming back this time, off the wicket, in towards him, and over they go. So the first wicket falls, Sidhu bowled Marshall for 11, and that's a very important breakthrough for West Indies.
Well, what a good ball this was. It's like a fast medium off break, and Sidhu just had no counter to that. Now here's a chap who's a good player of fast bowling, Ravi Shastri from Bombay, in place of Glamorgan in the county championship, and that's the score that he faces as he comes out.
Scored a superb century in the Barbados Test match. It took him a long time to get started. This is Marshall. Gets a bit of luck there. Not the easiest pitch to play on. Still the grass on it in the second day, lighter in colour, but still grass which helps the movement of the fast bowler, the ball which hits the seam. Runs for Aaron Lowell, but a very close one. Good calling. Shastri was backing up. Ideal way for India to move forwards, take their short singles wherever they can.
And this chap Ambrose is proving himself what a fielder. I mean, look at that. That's a left-handed pickup for a right-handed man, throwing off balance, and only a matter of a few degrees offline.
Again, that sloping bat shot of Aaron Lowell really doesn't intend to hit the ball very far.
He's got the priceless asset there of staying still, and a very slack right hand means that the ball won't carry off the edge to the slip fielders. There's some new young Trinidadian cricketers. I wonder if there's a fast bowler amongst them. This man's from Antigua, captain of the West Indies, Viv Richards. A better than average off spinner too.
Goes to Ravi Shastri. Ah, it's a handsome stroke. Right to the covers. Saw a lot of that from Shastri in his last Test innings, his century at Barbados. But this wicket is turning quite a different surface. Though to see that shot, you wouldn't think it was turning at all. Viv Richards doesn't make any pretension to turn the ball very much, just turns the odd one. 46 for 1. And in comes Malcolm Marshall to Ravi Shastri. Pops to Logie, and he's out. He's caught. It was off the bat. It went very quickly indeed. And Logie doesn't miss those. He's very smart about that position.
This bounced a bit more than Shastri thought. He got a slight pad on it as well, which slowed it down sufficiently. If he'd just got the edge of the bat, it probably would have passed Logie before he could have moved. But anyway, that's another useful wicket. In fact, a very valuable wicket considering the way, as Tony was saying, that Shastri played in Barbados. 48 for 2 now, at exactly 2 runs per over.
Here's a man who'd like to do well. The captain of India, Dilip Vengsarkar. Highly accomplished batsman of international reputation, but no luck so far on this tour. Rather a quick delivery to start off from Malcolm Marshall.
That ball, from the time it's a no ball, from the time it leaves the hand till Dujon gets a glove to it, is inside half a second.
Oh, very lucky. Very lucky indeed. You see the hesitation now creeping in once Marshall's got his rhythm and his line. This is Viv Richards to Vengsarkar. Oh, what a tragedy. What a tragedy for the Indian captain. It was a nothing ball. It was wide, it was low, it wasn't spinning, it wasn't going anywhere. And yet he committed the error of trying to cut on a slow wicket, chop the ball bottom edge onto the stumps. So Vengsarkar is bowled by Richards for 2.
Very unfortunate here. That happens so often. With the angle of the bat just deflecting it inwards onto the stumps, it could easily have missed everything. But it's 50 for 3 and India in all sorts of trouble.
And there's a very strong shout there for OBW. Took a bit of a chance in kicking that away, the young 22-year-old Venkat Raman.
Of course, the law says that if you don't play a shot, you can be out, even though the ball is pitching outside the off stump.
That'll be close again, and Aaron Lal seems to have done himself a damage there. Quite a fielder, Curtly Ambrose.
This is a very chancy single, particularly when you realise the kind of pick-up and throws that he's been producing in this innings. And you can see Aaron Lal, I think he's got cramp. Yeah, by the way, they're taking his pad off and they're looking at his leg. And, a definite sign it is cramp. They're pushing his toes upwards. Perhaps there's some help at hand.
There's Richards to Aaron Lal. Appeal for LBW. It's turned down.
Now, he played a shot at this as opposed to Raman last over, and there was never any danger of that being given out.
And it's an edge, and it's caught. So Aaron Lal, after a long fighting innings, is caught by Richards at first slip. Nice height to come through, off the bowling of Marshall for 30. And they must have sore hands, these West Indians.
Fine ball. Just pitched about off stump and left him. Aaron got in exactly the right position. And Viv Richards, who's got very good hands, little and sore hands, probably has been awarded a flag for that catch, straight into the mitts.
Or a flag day.
It's a colourful sight.
61 for 4. And India are in real trouble. Remember, they're pursuing 340, in which West Indies got in their first innings. But it was a good performance by Arun Lal. You need courage to play against these big fast bowlers, especially with the encouragement they get from that noisy crowd. Sanjay Manjrekar, highest score there, 108. That was in the second test match. Here comes Marshall. That's well played. Ball just hopping a bit. Richards around the wickets now to Rahman. That's very sweetly struck and finds a gap, and that'll go for 4. Yes, you can have your ball back.
Really effortless. I suppose Frank Woolley, who played for Kent and England between the wars, would have played something like that. Tall left-hander as well.
Marshall. Appeal against Manjrekar, and oh dear for India, Manjrekar goes for naught. Fine bowling by Marshall. Very little movement on the crease from Manjrekar. But we know what a fine player he is, and that's quite a blow.
And certainly if there's one bowler in the world you don't want to face as a new batsman, it's this man, Malcolm Marshall. Nipped that one back off the seam. Manjrekar got in the right position, but the ball was just too good for him. That probably would have been a tester if he'd been in for about half an hour or so.
So 5 wickets down now, 69 runs only, and India in dire straits. This is Kapil Dev facing Marshall. Oh. Well, Kapil always looks very relaxed, or is it lethargic? It's very difficult to tell which mission he's on.
This nearly got through, didn't it? Didn't bounce very high, came back like an off-break, and Kapil just got down on that in time.
No ball called. I have the feeling that Kapil was playing that shot anyway. Ball just moving slightly in the air, or maybe off the pitch, but certainly leaving the bat.
And this is the wicket that West Indies really want, because Kapil is still, even though he might be in the twilight of his international career, a very fine striker of the ball.
And there you see it. Quite a hefty swing of the bat from Kapil. Hits the ball on the up, not quite half volley. The sort of man who dominates the bowling, makes the bowlers think, gives them the problems. So Kapil off the mark with a 4.
Didn't quite middle this, but it's that full flowing stroke that actually propels the ball with speed. And Marshall, who's a good fielder off his own bowling, had no chance.
Marshall again to Kapil Dev. Flicked, and he gets away with it. It skids away through those slips, and like lightning it's into the fence. That third man. 4 more chancy runs. Oops, where did that go?
Yes, this could easily have gone straight to hand, but at least he went through the motions of flashing fairly hard, and that meant the edge itself travelled like lightning.
82 for 5. Richards to Kapil, and that's a fine shot. Overpitched and driven away through the offside. Kapil not a man to worry about precise textbook footwork. Just a great eye and a lovely natural touch.
The Haryana Hurricane, they called him. That's the part of India he comes from, and has certainly been the finest all-rounder that India has ever produced. 4,000 test runs, over 300 wickets, and always with a smile on his face.
He's gone. He'll do well to smile now. Malcolm Marshall, lovely teasing length outside the off stump, and Capel, of course, irresistibly Capel-Dev has to play an attacking shot. Flicks the outside edge of the bat.
And not quite in the right position. But if you stop him playing shots like this, then you stop one of the great entertainers in the world of cricket. Just carrying to Dujon. Indication that the pace is going out of the pitch a bit. It's not coming up at shoulder high to the wicketkeeper. Now here's another wicketkeeper, and a very gutsy one too, Tony.
Yes, Kieran Morey has survived more than one barrage of short, fast bowling from these boys. Here's Marshall. Down the leg side. No problem for Kieran Morey. Marshall a little bit annoyed with himself, like to bowl it straight. Here comes Richards to Venkat Raman. Beautiful fielding by Keith Arthurton at cover.
Comes from the island of Nevis, and really is, along with Gus Logie, I suspect the best fielder in the side. Along with Richie Richardson too, and well, the way Curtly Ambrose is fielding, that would have certainly done him proud too.
93 for 6. Courtney Walsh, the bowler. It's wide, and he's got a touch. So Wulkari Venkat Raman, the 22-year-old from Madras, has gone after a long fight out there. He's played some fluent strokes, but tempted by Courtney Walsh to flash away at something just that little bit too wide.
Not a shot he'll remember with any pleasure, and certainly not one of distinction. Could easily have left that. It was well outside the off stump all the way.
So Venkat Raman goes for 17, and Arshad Ayub comes in to face Courtney Walsh. He's a good solid batsman. Nothing flamboyant. Solid couple of runs on the offside.
Oh, some rotis there. Eat one of those and you needn't eat for a week. Sit like lead shot in the stomach, I'm afraid, at 95 for 7. I suspect that India feel like they've been on rotis for the week.
Eat one of those and you can't eat for a week. Walsh again. Ayub surviving outside off stump.
And he didn't get anywhere near this. This is a perfectly straight ball. And he is a tail-end batsman after all, Ayub.
It's all over for Kieran Morey. Right through the gap between bat and pad. They tell you in the textbooks to keep them close together. Didn't happen for Kieran that time, and overgrew the stumps.
I suspect that Kieran is suffering from shell shock from Barbados, where the bouncers were going past his nose every other ball. And very apprehensive pushing forward there. 99 for 8, 47 overs.
Curtly Ambrose comes back towards the end of the day. That's a very good shot. My word, off the front foot and whipped away by Ayub. 4 runs under the fence.
Not orthodox, but effective. And that could have gone anywhere, really, the sort of shot that he played. It went to the boundary, as it turned out.
Oh, he's dropped it, but that's Gordon Greenwich, who's had to put the pads on to substitute for the injured Jeff Dujon behind the stumps. He'd like to have caught that, though.
He's a very good slip catcher, Gordon, and he would have pouched that without gloves on, I'm sure.
So India struggling onwards, crawling forwards. Courtney Walsh. Another nice shot by Ayub. Well, suddenly someone's making it look a bit easier.
And it's true how often, once you get past the follow-on at 115, which is what they had to do, India, suddenly batting looks a lot easier. Good partnership by these two. And this is a much more authentic stroke from Ayub. Of course, has already picked up 5 wickets in this match. Almost a genuine all-rounder.
So that's how the West Indies innings finished at the start of the day. Nice few runs for Ian Bishop, 11 not out. The 6 from Courtney Walsh, 19 extras, 314 all out. And the Indian bowling, 2 wickets for Kapil Dev, 5 for Arshad Ayub, the main wicket taker, 5 for 117. And rather a sad response by India. They've in real trouble there. Aaron Lowell, the top scorer, with 30. And look at Marshall. 5 wickets to Malcolm Marshall, just 1 to Richards, the spinner, and a couple to Courtney Walsh.
So in reply to West Indies 314 all out, India scrambled to 122 for 8. That puts them 192 runs behind. Quite a struggle indeed for the tail-enders. A struggle, I thought, which wasn't due to last very long.
Ian Bishop to Chetan Sharma. Certainly one. Good long chase there for Curtly Ambrose. They'll have to watch his arm, a really tremendous thrower. But that beats him, and that's 4 runs. Very happy start for Chetan Sharma. Not so happy for Curtly.
Fine shot this from a tail-end batsman. I mean, when you think he's coming in number 10, and the on-drive is one of the hardest shots in the game to play, and he played that without any problem at all. Just enough weight on the ball to beat a pulling up Curtly Ambrose.
This is Courtney Walsh. Nice shot by Ayub. He plays that really well. Puts a real flick of the bottom hand into the shot. And again, a long chase around the boundary for Curtly Ambrose. 129 for 8 now, India. Real struggle here. But fight from the tail-enders. That beats Chetan outside the off stump. Marvellous the way the tail-enders suddenly take batting seriously.
Played well inside this, didn't do much off the pitch. The bat is straight enough, but down the wrong line.
Courtney Walsh. And again, the arms go up, and, well, little Chetan is rather annoyed with himself there. Think, boy, he says. Get behind the ball.
He was never in line at all, the right side. Look where his right foot is.
Ian Bishop. Oh, that's a wonderful stop by Jeff Dujon. Brilliant stop. Not only covering the ground to the left, but also having to get down so low.
And the fact that he's a top-class squash player means he's got great agility as Jeff Dujon. And just have a look at that. Must have made about 5 yards to his left.
Lovely shot. Nicely picked up off the toes by Sharma. And that's pretty harsh treatment by Sharma for Courtney Walsh. And these two really are making a fight of it.
In the air, but perfectly safe. Not many men in front of the bat for the tail-enders. And that's one of the easier 4 runs of the day.
Still to be Courtney Walsh. Oh, he's gone. Beautiful ball. Moved very late back into Ayub. And he's bowled by Walsh for a very fine and fighting 29 runs. Extended the Indian score beyond the expectations at the start of play, certainly.
But this was a useful delivery, just pitching outside the off stump. Ayub got in a reasonably good position there, but look at the gap between bat and pad. That was his undoing.
So West Indies almost there, 9 wickets down now, and Irwani, no great batsman. You see his average 6.25. West Indies well on top. Oh, that really hurt Chetan Sharma. Down goes the bat, and down goes poor Chetan. There'll be no prizes for guessing where that hit him. Politely called the midriff.
And it's always amusing to everyone else. I suppose, as you say, Tony, hit him somewhere between the elbow and the knee, but oh boy, those are really painful. And the fielders and the other batsmen usually find it highly amusing, but the poor recipient needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation there, I think.
Well, I'm not sure if that's secure.
It's a very long count he's taking. No problems for them on that count.
Courtney Walsh again. Oh no, not again. Oh, dear. My man's had enough.
I think the towel will be coming in any moment. He's back on his feet here. He's taken a compulsory 8 count. Now that was a useful ball. Look at that. That came back like a quick off break. Chetan, you could almost hear him shout before the ball hit him.
Well, I wonder what sort of mood he's in now to face Courtney Walsh yet again. No mood at all. But it's a no ball. There's the damage. I'm not sure if Chetan Sharma wouldn't have preferred to be out.
I mean, he certainly gave himself a lot of room for this. He got nowhere near behind the ball. Look where his right foot's gone. He's waiting for the third one straight in the midriff, as you said.
Well, Walsh has softened him up. But that's Hirwani, and Hirwani's out. And so little Chetan Sharma at this non-striking end survives. Hirwani is out, and Chetan Sharma is not out 19.
Yeah, well, he's the number 11 batsman with an average of 6, and you can see why. Nowhere near that ball. Plum LBW.
He goes for naught. India all out 150. And still, we have to say that the top score was the number 1 batsman, Arun Lal, and only 30. Great performance by Marshall and Walsh. A real demolition job there on the Indian batting order. Nice little fight towards the end by Ayub and Chetan Sharma. The follow-on has been avoided, but it's quite a deficit. So India take the field, 164 runs behind. Good shout there by Chetan Sharma. It's turned down.
And Sharma is one of the loudest appealers in the game. He'll shout for anything. That wasn't a bad appeal, but it was just outside the off stump.
Lovely shot. Desmond Haynes letting the bat flow out there wide of the off stump. And that's 4 runs. Very overcast sort of morning at Queen's Park Oval. And little drifts of rain now and again, raising suspicion in the minds of the batsmen, perhaps that the pitch might be helpful to the bowlers, but there's no sign of that yet. Really good shot, through extra cover. 9 for no wicket. Desmond Haynes. It's in the air and he's caught. That's Ravi Shastri at Gully. So an early success for India. That little hopped a little bit, I think, and Shastri held it well at Gully. And they'll be pleased to see the back of Desmond Haynes, who's been in good form. Gone this time for 9, 17 for 1.
Good ball, this. The bounce beat Haynes. Didn't do anything off the pitch, but it was a lot higher than he expected, and he couldn't keep it down. And Shastri made a very good catch there in the gully, falling away to his right.
Chetan Sharma, once again. Oh, little nick perhaps. They appealed for a catch off Greenwich. Greenwich points to his foot, as if to say, I hit my foot with the bat. Chetan Sharma goes mad. And Greenwich goes out. Well, there'll be some debate about that, Peter. Very often it's possible to flick the bat onto the pad or the boot.
You're right, Tony. Terribly difficult to say whether he got an edge on that one. But watch, does that carry to the wicketkeeper? It looked like quite a long bounce from our angle, but the umpire checked with his square-legged colleague. He said it carried, and so that means that Greenwich is out.
Arthurton comes in. Greenwich out for 5. 18 for 2. And maybe this pitch is a bit more responsive to these Indian seam bowlers. Arthurton off the mark. That's Sidhu. .23 for 2. 8 overs bowled. Kapil Dev to Arthurton. Strikes him on the pad, looks quite straight, and it is. Good, reliable bowler, Kapil Dev. Good line, good length. And Arthurton, I don't know, I fancy just playing a bit across that in the end. So Arthurton goes for 1.
Just watch where his right foot is, the leading foot. And the umpire's got to decide that that ball would have hit the stumps. That's the sole criteria. Kapil obviously thought so, so did wicketkeeper Moray, and there goes the umpire's hand confirming that.
3 down for 23, and West Indies in some trouble. In comes Vivian Richards, the captain. Not been in the greatest of form by his own high standards. Facing Chetan Sharma. Oops, it's off the bat, and it's caught. Well, that really is dramatic stuff. 4 wickets down. And Vivian Richards, rather sad in a way to see a great player struggle for runs, as he has in this series, but there's no regret out there by the Indian players.
Viv has yet to get a 50 against the Indians, and really he'll be terribly worried about his form. They're a very critical audience, the West Indian cricket supporters, and the fact that he's gone for naught there won't endear him to them.
It's 26 for 4, and this man, Gus Logie, really has a job to do. There's no point in being complacent. West Indies know that. India do have a capable batting side, and really quite capable of chasing a large target at the end. It's Hirwani. It's all been done by seam bowling too. It's quite a contrast. I still think it's a bit to do with the overcast conditions. A little bit of rain falling. Big shout there from Kapil Dev. Well, just imagine if Richardson had gone as well.
Richardson from Antigua's had the benefit of a number of very close LBW decisions on this tour. That one did look outside the off stump.
Oh, that crept. Where did it go, Gus Logie says. Very unpredictable pitch, this.
And he was nowhere near it. It was the bounce, you're right, Tony, that beat him there. And Chetan Sharma is really letting everything go here. He's really putting everything into it. The small, fast, medium bowler, but he gets quite a lot of bounce out of that.
Another good ball by Chetan Sharma. Much more movement in this pitch this morning. Ball landing on the seam and cutting back into Richardson.
Chetan, who took a bit of stick, you might recall, from Courtney Walsh when he was batting, is getting some of his own back here.
33 for 4. Quite a salvage job here for Richardson and for Gus Logie. Neither has got his eye in yet. That's a good shot. Very strange player in a way, Richardson. Lovely timing, but most of his shots dominated by the bottom hand.
Somebody's enjoying the cricket, Tony.
Hello, sailor. Another good shot, and he loves those short balls outside off stump. He's in tremendous form, in spite also of having an injury to his right hand.
90 in the Barbados Test, a career best, 194 in Georgetown in the first, and look at him play here in the third. Marvellous shot.
Kapildev to Richardson. In the air, played up one-handed. He went straight to the gap. Took this rather painful bottom hand completely off the bat handle. Simply followed through, and still he timed it.
Of course, he plays a new ball a great deal coming into number 3, Richardson, and there's a lot of jarring on the bottom hand, and that's probably why he let it go right at the last moment. But the loss of power was negligible as that went to the boundary.
But a recovery underway here as the Ayub goes to Logie and gets flicked through mid-wicket, and that'll be 4. Just the turn to spin now after a prolonged period of seam attack and 4 wickets taken. India turned to their spinners. And of course this pitch is taking spin right from the start, Peter.
Yes, and they shouldn't have got really 200 against a decent attack. And that was worth a shot, I suppose, although probably the turn would have taken it down the leg side. I think really India will be disappointed having put West Indies in the first innings not to bowl them out for round 200. The 314 they eventually got. Let's have another look at that delivery. You can see it just spinning down the leg side. May well be a match-winning total.
Another attempt to flick through mid-wicket. Looked absolutely straight. Very good shout. Ayub is upset by the adjudication. Overthrows come West Indies' way. Rather a shambles by India in the field once the appeals turned down.
Well, we're not directly behind the wickets, but really that looked a reasonable shot. Got to hit the wickets, remember. But he did play a shot at it and probably might just have got outside the off stump.
Ravi Shastri now to Gus Logie. Oh, he just crept and came on with the arm.
Lucky Gus is only about 5'4", because a taller man would have found that unplayable.
Ayub to Logie. Wide of the off stump, and I'd hate to be that silly point fielder there. He picked that up on the up. Gives it quite a punch from little backlift, Gus Logie. 3 runs to him.
Well, you can support either side, West Indies or India.
Oh, another one. Ayub's length, line rather, straying wide of off stump. And that's hit even better. That's 4 runs.
Ayub was turned towards the east there. Pretty thoughtful look about him.
This captain is fielding at silly point. You see Vengsarkar turn and flinch. Certainly isn't looking at the captain. And West Indies just running away from India now after that marvellous start. by the tourists. They've had to put a man deep, sweeping up there behind the covers for Richie Richardson. That's his powerful play on the offside. Plenty for young boys to enjoy. Good stroke makers, these two. Hirwani. Delicate stuff. Interesting to watch Gus Logie bat. Very little backlift. Very strong wrists.
And I think he must read him. But he knew that wasn't the googly. He just gave himself a bit of room to cut. 91 for 4, 31 overs gone.
Oh, even finer. Kapil Dev had moved wider at first slip. And it was just run down between Kapil and the wicketkeeper.
Well, he does bowl the googly. That's the one that comes in from outside the off stump with the leg break action. But no doubt about it, Gus can read which way it's going. He might be watching it in the air, spinning. And beautifully played. Look at Vince Harker's feeling of despair at slip.
Back to Chetan Sharma. That's well played. Beautifully placed and flicked again with those wristy shot of Logie's. And these two have repaired the early damage. It was 26 for 4. And Richardson and Gus Logie put the innings together again. Another thundering shot by Richardson. A couple more runs and a great cheer around the stadium.
This is an off drive which every child watching should copy if he wants to learn how to play the game properly. Got into a beautiful position, plenty of power in the bottom hand, but holding it on course with the right, and a good throw of this by Sidhu too. Good sideways action and throw. Just look at that. That's about 60 yards straight into the wicket-keeper's gloves.
Hirwani to Logie. In the air is caught and bowled. Very good bowling. Nice flight and drew Logie forward. So Logie goes, caught and bowled Hirwani for 38.
That's the first time that Logie hasn't really given it the full treatment. He just stopped his shot, but he wasn't quite to the pitch. Had he really hit hard at that and lofted it, he could have hit it way over Hirwani's head. A good moment to get the 5th wicket, 100 on the board.
And this is Jeffrey Dujon. Elegant stroke maker.
The lead now 2-6-4.
He loves that shot. He plays it so well. He leans well over the ball. And such power, Richie Richardson.
He's also a very accomplished tennis player. A fine all-round athlete, Richie Richardson.
Shastri to Dujon. Oops, he's bowled him. Maybe misjudged the length. Might have kept low at the end, but rather elegant high backlift. Was all too late for that one.
That's a good wicket for India, because Dujon is one of the best players of spin they've got. He hasn't got it the straightest backlift in the world, but does get it back on the inside. But is beaten by the bounce, or the lack of it, really. That's what got him out. Hit halfway up the off stump.
So West Indies 119 for 6. And in comes Malcolm Marshall. But that 119 has to be added to a first innings lead of 164. So West Indies anticipating victory, no doubt. This is Shastri. Appeal against Marshall.
This one didn't turn, which is probably why the umpire said not out. It went down the leg side, although Marshall's leg is in line with the stump to stump. It's probably, look where Moray, the wicketkeeper's gone, indication it was going down the leg side.
Hirwani to Richardson. Good footwork. Quick second. Played neatly and very square, but a much more defensive field set by India, trailing by so many runs. They can't afford to get in there and over-attack. 130 for 6 West Indies. Nicely placed. And that's Richardson's half-century. Yet again, he's plundering these Indian spinners. What's a strange shot, and, well, I think he got back in time. Attempted stumping by Kieran Moray. He was very quick. Ball not quite coming through quickly enough for the keeper to make the stumping.
Goes up the wicket quite a long way, Richie, but he's so athletic. Just watch. When he realizes he's going to miss that ball, keeps on going with the bat and gets it back behind the crease.
Almost spooned that out. It came through so low.
Yes, I think he exaggerated that a bit, playing to the crowd, but that ball didn't bounce very high. Looks like he's got a sandwich in his hand.
Should be at least 2 here. .157 for 6. Arshad Ayub is the bowler. Nice shot by Marshall. Eased it through the covers. Lovely timing there, so little physical effort. Ayub tries again. It's a demand more than appeal, but that's turned down. It's not very satisfying.
Oh, that was certainly outside the off stump.
Kapildev. Well, that might well be out. And he's given out. Marshall looks a bit disgusted. He thinks he's way outside off stump. But if you don't play a shot, you can be given out if the ball is thought to be going on course to hit the stumps. And that's how the umpire adjudicated.
That was a good decision there by the umpire, because Marshall's front leg was on the move right throughout that, and he had terrible difficulty in judging exactly where he was in relation to the wickets when it hit. But it was out in the umpire's view, and that's the only thing that matters. Now here's a chap who played a few brave blows with the bat for the West Indies, Kirtley Ambrose. It's Kapildev, the bowler. And so many of these West Indian fast bowlers are good with the bat as well, and they think that they should be going in higher up the order.
Some informal trading there. Backs to the cricket. This is where it's happening. Kapildev. Play on leg stump. I think that Ambrose's strength is on leg stump. He whips that one away without any regard or respect for Kapil.
Really is surprising how well he plays when you think of his limited international experience.
Hirwani now. Oh, it's a top edge and misses these diving slip. A false shot by Richardson, one of the very few he's played in the whole series.
And these take a lot of catching at slip because it's a thick edge. It really is flying at speed. The slip is only about 4 yards back. He made a good effort at that, Insati.
It's between keeper and first slip. Now, was that a catch?
Capel thinks so, doesn't it?
He thinks so. It looks as if they might have jammed it and take another look.
Now, it goes past him on the full toss. No, pitched. You can just see after edging the bat, and that's certainly not a chance.
Little vengeance plan there by Kapildev. $199 for 7. So a staggering sort of innings by West Indies, but they fought their way out of trouble after being 26 for 4. And this is how the match stands now. West Indies 199 for 7 are 363 runs ahead. So it's the 4th day now of this 3rd test match, crucial to India to fight back, but West Indies already in a very strong position indeed. They were 199 for the loss of 7 wickets overnight. That's how they start this day. And Richie Richardson still batting there on 77 not out. Just the sort of man who can hold together the tail end effort with Ambrose batting, Bishop to come, and Courtney Walsh. This is Curtly Ambrose. Kapildev around the wicket. Oh, and straight off, a little nick, and he's caught behind the wickets by Kieran Murray. Ambrose goes for 15.
I think the thing that beat the batsman here was the fact that Kapildev had gone round the wicket, so the whole angle, as far as the batsman was concerned, had changed completely. It was a long way outside the off stump. No need to play that, really.
So the 8th wicket goes down now for 204. A small source of jubilation for India, who really know that they are in trouble. And this is Ian Bishop, helmeted and grilled. Very promising as a batsman as well as a leading fast bowler already. And a local boy, plenty of local support for him. Kapildev. And Bishop nicely turned off the pads. It's another hot day, breezy as well, pleasant breezes. Not the great crowd of the earlier days. Capel again, around the wicket. Again on the angle Peter talked about, deceiving Bishop.
A long way outside the off stump by the time it passed him, but probably pitched about middle. That's what made Bishop play at that.
Arshad Ayub is the off spinner to Richardson. Swept away. He's not bowled a really good line. Fumble there by Hirani. They steal 2 and Ayub doesn't feel properly and he glares at Hirani. I wouldn't blame that little man. Wasn't a very good ball. Kapildev. Oh, what luck by Bishop. But they all count, inside edge, beats the stumps, beats the wicketkeeper, and flies away for 4.
Well, Capel's gone back over the wicket here, and he's not having any luck at all. That must have been within a whisker of hitting the off stump.
220 for 8, the West Indies extend their score. Richardson. Nice bit of fielding there.
And this was a good piece of running by Bishop, backing up. Watch, Richardson calls him, and Bishop is out of the box very quickly, and he needed to be as well because he was onto it very fast indeed, the fielder.
Richie Richardson, the scourge of the Indians in this Test match series. Hits him on the foot. Oh, that must be close. Kapildev appeals for LBW. They all appeal. More is upset, and so is Kapil upset. Can't believe it. Very full-length delivery, swinging in late. Come on, man, he says to the umpire.
Well, part of the game is accepting the umpire's decision, but really this was an extraordinary one. It could only have hit the stumps. I don't know quite what the umpire was thinking of there.
Irwani's first ball of the morning. Very nice shot by Bishop. Orthodox and complicated. Chetan Sharma is the long-off fielder, running round to extra cover. 2 to Bishop. Chetan Sharma, time to bowl. And that's short. Richardson really does have a great range of strokes. Short one, but Bishop's a very tall man indeed. But hardly got up waist high. Flicked away. Does look a good player. 4 runs.
Very much in the all-rounder class, I think, Tony. That's a shot of a batsman in the upper order, not a tail-ender.
That strikes the pad. It must be very close. Bishop moved across there. It's well worth the shout.
Yes, I think going down the leg side, we get a good view of that. The bowler got the wrong impression, I think.
Kapildev to Richie Richardson. Oh, well, bowl. Kapil has bowled a sustained spell this morning. Very good line and length, even troubling Richardson, who's played so well.
One of 4 Antigans on the side, Richardson. He's in the nervous 90s, and it really shows, doesn't it?
Oh, a bit of luck about that. Thick top edge down to Sidhu. Well, how did they get 2? Kapildev, not a happy man this morning. Richardson will be happy if he can get there. He's on 99.
I think Kapil got upset here because Sidhu took a long time winding up and throwing. You watch now, if he'd picked that up and thrown it within 1 stride, that would almost certainly have ended in Richardson's being run out. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps before he threw it.
So 1 run to get his 2nd century of the series. In comes Kapildev. Oh, he's bowled him. Well, and Richardson looks, and he's coming back. It's appeared, to my eye, to maybe flick the pad, but certainly gets straight through his guard, and now Richie Richardson, I'm afraid, has to go. Bowled by Kapildev from 99. Very bad luck for him.
I cannot understand why he walked back. I know they like batting, these fellows, but you can't get more comprehensively bowled than that. Standing ovation for a very popular player here. 250 for 9, 95 overs. Courtney Walsh, no pretensions to be a batsman, but likes to give the ball a bit of a belt.
Second new ball was taken by India this morning. Chetan Sharma. Again, a lovely turn off the pads. And the head right over it. The timing perfect by Ian Bishop.
Good footwork for a tall man. Absolutely still with his head. That's why he's such a good player on the leg side. He's not bobbing around all over the place. And look at the pace on that ball on a very slow outfield. It's long, lush grass there.
Still to be Kapildev. Ayub. Yes, can do better.
This is a bit of a chancy run, actually. I think probably Bishop is trying to get down near the end of the over to the striking end, but had that hit, he might have been in trouble.
Courtney Walsh, the batsman, Kapil Dev bowling. Well up, oh, it's all over. Perfect Yorker by Kapil Dev, and Walsh is bowled by Kapil for 4. I think the local supporters know that West Indies are very strongly placed indeed, and how well their local lad Ian Bishop batted.
Perfect example of a Yorker here, right up in the block hole, middle and leg stump. Almost impossible for a chap of 6'6" like Walsh to play something like that.
266 all out then, the West Indies, and that leaves India 431 runs to win this match. It's been a fine innings by Richie Richardson, good support, especially from the tail, and a nice surprise from Ian Bishop, 30 not out towards the end, but 38 came from extras. That's quite a useful performance. So the ball is back with the West Indies and with Ian Bishop. Good shot by Aaron Lal. Rather daunting to be chasing 431 to win the match in over a day and a half, but that's a confident start.
Don't see many players get on the front foot for genuine fast bowling, but Aaron Lal does.
That's the one that got away for Jeff Dujon. No catch, maybe a leg by.
Very athletic wicketkeeper, this chap. He's got a glove to that, saved a certain 4 byes.
Curtly Ambrose. Oh! Well bowled indeed.
Ambrose is certainly firing on every cylinder in his body at the moment. He's bowling a lot quicker. He's really running in a lot quicker than he's bowled the whole series so far.
Another good shot by Aaron Lal. And again, onto the front foot. That's Brian Lara, who has come on as substitute fielder. Young man, locally, of huge promise, but 4 runs to Aaron Lal.
Another good example of getting on the front foot and just nudging that, using the pace of the ball to get him 4 runs.
Ambrose. That completely beats Sidhu. Sidhu's had a torrid time. It is amazing, he's still there.
Got that look of the condemned man about him, isn't it? Didn't quite get behind that one. Beaten all ends up for pace.
16 for no wicket. Nicely played by Aaron Lal, who does get in line with the ball. Even the quickest bowling, and the bat carefully sloped downwards. Runs the ball in that little gap between third slip and gully for 4 runs. Bishop again. Oh dear. Oh dear, he's hit him on the head, the side of the head, and you could just hear the rather harsh sound of the perspex guard at the side being hit by the ball.
Aaron Lal took a terrible blow in Antigua on the elbow from Ambrose. He's been in the wars, and that is a nasty blow. That looks awful, doesn't it? Right behind the ear. I hope he's all right, but that looks a bit ominous to me, Tony.
They say it's a very difficult end to see the ball clearly. He appeared to lose the ball in flight, but much more importantly, let's hope that he is okay. Certainly conscious.
Well, this is not a pretty sight. The stretcher's coming out. I hope they're not needed. He's on his feet anyway. And he's got his pads off. His helmet in his hand. I dread to think what would have happened if he didn't have a helmet on. That's the doctor with him. There's the camera. And Ravi Shastri is the new batsman. I wonder what he's thinking, Johnny.
Not a pleasant time to come into bat when there's been that sort of accident. That's Vivian Richards' first slip. This is Curtly Ambrose. Well, a bit unlucky there for Sidhu. It was short and wide, but the bounce is variable. You expect that in the last day of a test match. And the same strip of ground's been used day after day.
Yes, Sidhu not anywhere near in line again with us, excepting the bait outside the off stump. A bit lucky to get away with that.
And that's wide, and that's the one, again, nowhere near in line with it. I don't think he's tried to get in line with it. And when he walked away, he usually get the nick, accepted by Dujon.
That's Sidhu out for one. He's been there an hour in all. And this was always on the cards. He played and missed outside the off stump for about 50 of that 60 minutes batting, and eventually he got the edge.
So the first wicket goes down for 20 runs. Ravi Shastri, Ian Bishop the bowler. Good shot. That's a very good shot against fast bowling. Left the shot late, but timed it well. It's the timing that's taking it away for 4 runs.
Make a point about timing. Just watch his back left, Tony. It's only halfway back, but such beautiful timing that ball is clipped away 75 yards. Nobody any chance at all of cutting that off. Lovely shot.
A little bit of luck there for Shastri, but 4 runs indeed. Just shooting that ball between first and second slip. Shastri, the man who got a century in the Barbados Test match. Oh, that's through him. The extra pace, I think, Peter.
Yes, well, we're looking at a couple of world-class fast bowlers in action here. And by the time he gets his bat down, the ball's through him already. Lucky it wasn't straight.
28 for 1 and 16 overs bowled. Ambrose. Goes down the leg side, and that's far too much for Dujon. The ball disappears from sight.
I don't think he played a shot at this. Sees it going down the leg side and really doesn't offer at it. Dujon made about 6 feet to his right, but still couldn't get there.
3 slips, 2 gullies, short square leg, and on the pad, that must be close. But Venkat Raman, this young man from Madras, survives.
Ambrose is bowling as quick as he's bowled in the whole series. Now, that must have been just outside the off stump, but very, very close.
Courtney Walsh. Oh, well played, Shastri. Yeah, just that uneven bounce I was talking about. Kept a bit low, and Shastri, of course, so tall.
Very difficult ball for a tall man to play this. Only bounced about a foot off the ground. He was looking for something that was bouncing up about waist high.
Just the 1 wicket down. Sidhu's gone for 1. Oh, another one. Well bowled by Courtney Walsh. Very little footwork by Shastri, but the ball again keeping low, cutting back in off the seam.
Shastri is very keen to show the umpire that he edged it, just to make quite sure that he wasn't given out LBW.
It's a good spell by Walsh. Oh, that's a lovely ball. It nicks something, but Venkatraman is in no doubt himself. Here's a young man who actually walked in the first innings.
He probably just brushed his front pad with his bat. Or maybe the ball did.
And now it's Malcolm Marshall. Hits him on the pad, and it's straight. Marshall keeping the ball well up to the bat, and Wukari Venkatraman is gone, and so the second Indian wicket falls.
Played pretty well, this young man, but Marshall is so experienced, and he gets, I suppose, 40% of his wickets LBW. Bowls very, very straight, and if you miss it, you've got to be out.
Two wickets down for 60, and here comes the beleaguered Indian captain Dilip Vengsarkar, and luckily he hasn't hit his own best form. The side is struggling, and India needs him today. 60 for 2 as Vengsarkar faces Marshall. Oh, an appeal, not out.
Vengsarkar's got 5 of his 17 Test hundreds against West Indies, and so this is a wicket that they'll really prize.
Pleasant stroke by Vengsarkar, Atherton the fielder. Ian Bishop. Oh, it's climbs and Shastri walks. He sort of looks back for confirmation, but it's caught by Dujong. Off Bishop, and Shastri goes for 15.
Well, I suppose Shastri can look back on this dismissal and wonder what else he could have done. This was as near an unplayable ball as you could get, pitching just on or just outside the off stump, lifting and leaving the batsman, and instinctively you play at that. You can't blame Shastri for that.
Sanjay Manjrekar is the incoming batsman, the young man who got a century in the first innings of the Barbados Test match. So Shastri's gone for 5, it's 64 for 3, and here comes Marshall to Manjrekar. Oh, it's low, it's struck him, and it's out. What a tragedy for Manjrekar. LBW to Marshall for 1, and the 4th wicket goes down.
There's nothing you can do when things are going against you. Shastri got one that lifted from the other end. This one shot along the ground. And that hit him, what, 6 inches above the ankle? Absolutely unplayable.
And great joy as West Indies press ahead now. 4 wickets down for 66. And this is Kapil Dev facing Marshall. Good strong shot, typically Kapil. That'll be 4 runs. Not many shots to admire today. It was very difficult against 4 fast bowlers. Here's one of them, Ian Bishop, to Kapil Dev. And he's nicked it. It was wide, not a good shot. Faint little nick, straight to Dujong, and Kapil Dev has gone for 4.
That's the second most important wicket I think that the West Indies could get, because Kapil Dev, along with Vengsarkar, are the 2 men who might do something for India, particularly Kapil, who's such a fine stroke maker, but that's not a stroke that he'll remember with much pleasure.
5 wickets down for 75, and just look at the bottom line, 365 left to win. But here's good news for India. Arun Lal, back from hospital, has had an X-ray, declared fit to resume. But here's the man who hit him on the head, Ian Bishop. Vengsarkar, nicely played. On top of that, wristy stroke, typically Vengsarkar, and 4 runs. The sense victory here at the Queen's Park Oval. Lovely sunny day, pleasant breeze too. Good shot by Arun Lal, uncomplicated, just has the luck to get through the close field. Substitute fielder Lara flicks it back to Desmond Haynes.
This was a well-played shot. It's so useful to be able to manipulate the ball using the speed of a fast bowler, and there was no attempt there for any strength of shot by Arun Lal. He just nudged it through the vacant slip area.
Nice little race won by the youngster from Port of Spain. And the flip back. Good teamwork there. 5 wickets down, 83 runs on the board. Here comes Bishop. A little bit of luck there for Vengsarkar. That edge might have gone anywhere at all. It went on the ground.
Indication that the pitch was losing some of its pace. The ball not carrying to the close fielders.
Marshall to Arun Lal. It's wide, it's a faint little tickle, and Arun Lal is gone. Well, Marshall, the master of line and length. Another wicket to him. Arun Lal's gone for a very courageous 18.
Needn't have played with this one. It's one of the few mistakes in judgment of width that Arun Lal has made, and he pays the penalty.
So the 6th wicket goes down for 92, and that brings Kieran Morey to the crease. Another young man, diminutive stature, who's played with courage. Bishop is on the way. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Well, that went over the top. Some balls have been bouncing low, and that one just hops over the middle stump. Good shot by Vengsarkar. Just the single. Phil Simmons, a substitute fielder. Well played this time by Morey. Nicely tucked away off the pads into the shadow of the stand there. And India scramble forwards, 109. 6 wickets down, Courtney Walsh to bowl. Not a catch, but edged away by Morey. And that ball just runs and trickles away for 4 runs. And Viv Richards decided to have a bowl himself. Runs in that. Ambrose. Bright sunshine now as Richards bowls to Vengsarkar. Oh, that was quite straight. Good shout by Richards.
Certainly worth a look at that, and worth a shout, I think. Well, Vengsarkar is just about middle and off. That must have... I can't think why the umpire turned that one down.
121 for 6. Richards. No great spinner of the ball, Richards, but it's a little variation to have slower bowling. So at one end there's still a fast man. This is Ambrose. And Kieran Morey wafting at that.
Again, this was a long way outside the off stump. We've seen this right throughout the Indian second innings. They play at almost anything. It's cost them 3 or 4 wickets already.
Ambrose to Vengsarkar. Nicely controlled, just a forward defensive stroke. But West Indies have no need to employ third men or fielders back there to save for. So many runs to play with, and they're all up there for the catch.
Again, the ball a really thick edge this time, not carrying anywhere near the close fielders, and once it gets through them, well, you've got a chance of getting a boundary because there's nobody back.
Oh. Well, how it got to Richards, I don't quite know, but there's no appeal.
If he catch that well, although it wasn't a catch, it was a no ball anyway, but that flew like a rocket. He plucked that out of the air to his left. Beautiful hands.
Ambrose again to Kieran Morey. There's the same shot again. Nice feeling if you're a batsman to think that you've half middled the ball and it's run away for 4. Not so good if you're a bowler.
Got a lot of guts, this Kieran Morey. Head right over the pitch of the ball. He deserves what luck's going.
$153 for 6. Just coming up to the close of the day's play. Wonderful fielding, beautiful return by Atherton. Always a risk to take a run to his left hand, with a lovely left-handed throw there at cover.
Yes, he's one of the better fielders amongst the West Indians. They're no slouches, any of them, but he's such a lithe, athletic chap that anything to his left hand is a danger run.
Well, it's been a tough day's watching. That's beautifully played, and that's a half volley. Still not the full force of Vengsarkar's bat, but a pleasant stroke, 2 runs to him.
Vengsarkar's starting to play like we know he can. He's one of the top 5 batsmen in the world, but he hasn't really made his mark on the series here or the one-day internationals. But he's India's last hope. He's really playing a captain's innings. Look at the speed and athleticism of Atherton.
So that's how day 4 ends, with India 161 for 6. They need 270 runs to win, and just those 4 wickets in hand. Vengsarkar has 40, Kieran Morey 24. 5th day, and India really looking for respectability more than anything else now. Really uphill battle to save this game, let alone win it. 161 for 6, and with the last 4 wickets, they have to reach a total of 430 just to draw. Malcolm Marshall. An edge by Vengsarkar, and that just wide of Dujon it seemed. Certainly didn't carry to Richards.
That's no doubt about it a chance. It would have been a great catch by Dujon, who made a lot of distance to his right, got a good glove to it, and just knocked it wide of Richards.
Bishop to Morey. It's in the air, it's over the top of Ambrose. And a very bold shot indeed by Kieran Murray. Four runs.
Well, this was a bit of hit and hope, really. It could have gone almost anywhere. He opened the face of the bat, but he made a good contact, and that's what counts.
Ian Bishop again. Oh, that's a perfect shot. Lovely shot, lovely swivel of the body. Flicked the ball off the pads, and Kieran Murray has played some very defiant innings in this Test series. Plenty of courage.
Very good example here of the advantages of being short. As a player, it gives you plenty of time to pivot and hook away the short ball.
Well, some more luck for Vengsarker. Played the ball well away from the body, but you need a bit of luck.
Yes, and one would have thought that with so many runs in the bag that the West Indies would have had a more attacking field, put a man there in third, fourth slip maybe.
181 now for 6. 250 to win. Marshall to Murray. Field for LBW. But Kieran Murray, just a bit on the move there.
Certainly quite a long way forward. This looked a reasonable shot, though. He's not all that far outside the off stump.
That's a good shot. And nice little follow through, so good orthodox runs for Kieran Murray.
Yes, you won't see a bit of off drive if you watch for another 10 years. Perfect position, good follow through.
Oh, strikes him on the pad, and, well, it must have been very close indeed. One of those we've seen in this match that keeps a little low.
This was a magnificent ball. Not only kept low, but nipped back. In fact, it probably did too much, would have beaten the leg stump.
And that's another close shot. It's given out this time. Well, Kieran Murray thought he was far enough outside the off stump to be safe. But you can be given out if the umpire thinks the ball's hitting the stumps and you play no shot.
This was a very difficult one to judge by the umpire. He has to evaluate that the ball will hit the stumps, and really that's a hard one to make. Goes in the bowler's favour this time, but often the batsman will get the benefit.
7 wickets down now for 190. Kieran Murray, we've got 42. This is Arshad Ayub, the incoming batsman, man of sound technique. Has already played a fighting innings in this Test series. But we really are watching the last rites. Marshall again.
One of the pleasing things, Tony, is how few bounces we've seen in this Test match. The fast bowlers have tended to keep the ball up to the bat.
190 for 7. Oh, that was an absolute beauty by Ian Bishop. Vengsarker really felt the wind there.
I bet the slips are pretty glad he never got an edge on that. That would have taken a lot of catching.
Marshall to Vengsarker. Oh, another good ball. And Vengsarker is a really good player. Just playing himself into much better form, and yet Marshall is that much better than him this time.
Like a quick leg break. Even a great player like Vengsarker couldn't get near that.
The best bowling combination, Marshall and this man Ian Bishop. It's outside the off stump, it's steered into Richards' hands. Ayub virtually gives fielding practice to Vivian Richards, and says, catch this, Vivian, and Vivian did.
He actually middled this. It's off the full face of the bat. Just runs it straight to Viv, who doesn't drop many, and certainly not ones like that.
Caught Richards, bowled Bishop for 1, the 8th wicket down now for 194. And we're down to Chetan Sharma. After him will come Hirwani. And that's the joyful tale for West Indians, dismal for Indian supporters. Marshall again to Vengsarkar. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That really is an exceptional stroke by Vengsarkar. Straight over mid-off, nothing wrong with that, through the ball, and 4 runs.
Well, there's nothing to be lost now by the Indian captain. He's in with the last couple of players, and he might as well give it a go.
Malcolm Marshall took 5 wickets in the first innings. Into Chetan Sharma. Taking a leaf out of the captain's book, not quite so orthodoxly, but the end result is the same, can't deny that. Using the feet to Malcolm Marshall is must be a new fashion.
Marshall wouldn't see the humour of it, giving himself plenty of room, and I'd be on the back foot with the next ball if I was the batsman. It's Courtney Walsh just sticking a hand up in the air.
Marshall again to Chetan Sharma. Oops, all over. He said, that'll teach you to use your feet to me and knock me over the top. Straight, fast, lethal. Sharma has gone for 7.
There's quite a spirit of camaraderie between the opening bowlers. Chetan Sharma is the opening bowler for India. Marshall, of course, the great fast bowler from the West Indies. But no love lost there.
Narendra Hirwani is the last man. Just been playing little over an hour on this 5th and final day. Oh, Vengsarkar's gone. It's the captain who goes, not Hirwani, and that really is the end of the match and the end of the series. West Indies are 2-0 up with 1 test to play, and they've won this test match by 217 runs.
Awkward lifting ball to round off the match. Vengsarkar just fended it to Logie at short leg, made a useful catch low down.
And Malcolm Marshall's 6th wicket, so 11 wickets in the match. Tremendous performance by him. India's final score, 230. Well, I'm afraid a very uneven struggle right the way through. The Indian batsmen never really come into grips with the West Indies fast bowlers, never quite in line. Though it was good to see Dilip Vengsarkar, the captain, come through with something like his true form before the end. But crucially, in my mind, it was India with 3 spinners in the side, winning the toss on a real turning wicket, conceding 314 runs in the first innings. And then let's just take a look at the scorecards there. 150 for India, and West Indies 266 second time around. Then India's 213. West Indies win by 217, and so they win this test match. The man of the match was Malcolm Marshall. What wonderful bowling we saw from him. 11 wickets for 87 runs. And I thought that young Ian Bishop is on the way to emulate Marshall, not only with bowling, but with his batting too. So, from the Queen's Park Oval here in Trinidad, we say goodbye to you. Thanks for joining us. And I look forward to greeting you next time, the last test match of the series at Kingston, Jamaica.